filming?
We're here with Ellonye. Hi, Ellonye.
Hi.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I first and foremost am an actor. I graduated from Adelaide College of the Arts in 2011. I was then lucky enough to be sent overseas with the Neil Kerner Award. I spent some time in Los Angeles, New York, and then doing an intense Shakespeare program in London. So this is playing a lead in a musical is certainly being a new challenge for me.
So, what kind of preparation did you do before your audition for this role?
Well, I found out about this a week and a half before the audition. I decided I wanted to work on my singing voice this year, and so auditioning for a musical seemed to be the best way to try and do that. I only discovered the day before the audition that I could even sing the full range that is demanded of the character I was auditioning for. So that was a little bit last minute. But yeah, so I had a couple of singing lessons with my teacher that week, and largely I just kind of went through the songs. I read some portions of the book, just sort of focused on Christine, obviously watched a couple of different versions of it to get an idea about the overall story. And largely, yeah, I mean, the audition piece, we had to do a couple of songs of her kind of primary songs as well as a short scene. And so for the songs, it was very much like preparing for a monologue, sort of going through and going, what am I talking about, what do I need, what changes from the beginning of the song to the end of the song, what is the journey in the song, and just sort of trying to answer those questions.
What would you say would be your biggest challenge in playing the role of Christine?
The singing. I realise it's a very broad canvas, but she's very vocally demanding. And also I think there's a very big expectation of Christine. So people have this idea in their heads of where she needs to be. And so trying to, I suppose, partially meet that expectation, but also try and remove that expectation from people. So they come and they no longer, ideally I don't want people to be comparing me to another Christine, but rather seeing her as a separate entity, as a creature that's, created on stage, new every night.
So what could you say that you brought that's different to, say, Sarah Brightman or Sierra Bodges to this particular character?
Well, I think the fact that I'm an actor first. I think that's what I'm particularly bringing. Like, as soon as I was cast, I went through a lot of detail, reading through the book in particular, so looking at her history and what motivates her, as opposed to, I think, sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the music of it. Because, of course, she has like about 6 lines of dialogue in the whole show. Everything else is sung. So obviously you need to be able to focus on it musically, but for me, it was about, even though it's a musical, every word that you speak, you have to be telling a story, you have to be conveying something. And so I think for me, it's been about grounding her, and so finding the truth, finding the reality, finding particularly her history. Like the big question when I got cast was, why her? What is it about Christine that makes this magnanimous and damaged individual like the Phantom be drawn to her? What draws him to her? And so I think a lot of that stems from her father and the loss, that she is someone who is likewise damaged, who is looking for she's naive, she's looking for magic, she's looking for an illusion, because she needs there to be more to life than what there is. And I think that stems from the loss that she's suffered.
If you were a boy, what role would you have gone for? And why?
Okay, if I was a boy. Well, obviously Phantom's a bit fun. I think I'd have a lot of fun with Raoul, to be honest. I think being all swashbuckling and be like, hey baby. And I think I'd have too much fun with Raoul. I think for me, if I was Raoul, it would be, he would come on stage and everyone would just be like, hello, sailor. I think I'd play him as a player. I think he'd be like, yeah, he's used to getting everything he wants. Which thankfully is not what our Raoul is bringing. He's a much nicer boy than I think I would be.
Do you have a favourite Christine and Phantom combination?
Oh, that's a tricky question. I mean, I'm a big fan of Sierra Bodges. I think she's fantastic. And I think because she does, I mean, she is a singer first as well, but I think she does seem to put a bit of focus on trying to bring out the storytelling side of Christine, which I think is really important. And so, of course, her and Maureen work well together. But I think Anthony Warlow is a voice that I can't get away from, I think, as a Phantom. So,
Definitely.
With the exception of our Phantom, who I must say I have a bit of a soft spot for, and what we're doing together, but obviously that's because for us it's very personal, it's very real. But aside from that, yeah, I'd love to be able to see Sierra and Anthony together. Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever happened. I don't know if it will happen. But I'm just like, that would be a pretty cool match, I think.
Yeah.
Although I was lucky enough to see him with Anna Marina. And one thing I didn't, as far as the performance element, I didn't enjoy it so much. Also because it was at the entertainment centre, which was a horrible venue for it.
I went to that one.
But the one thing I did like about her was when she first opened her mouth to think of me, it was like, oh, you sound like honey. And I think that's nice.
Her understudy.
Really?
Yeah, I liked her understudy better.
I didn't see her understudy.
Because I saw her in Melbourne and she was amazing. Oh. Absolutely amazing. I can't remember what her name was. I think it was Jodie something.
Maybe she had more to prove.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't having to do it 8 times a week as well.
I think she was also younger, where Anna Marina was close, like mid-30s, where she was around your age.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ellonye.
My pleasure.
And we are out.